Hello, everyone. I was over at my neighbor's chit chatting a little bit, seeing how everybody's doing since I got back to Tennessee. So I hope everyone's doing great. Getting a little bit of water. It's been hot over here. I should have took my phone over there, but I was just calling myself as taking some things over there and gonna drop it off. Please bear with me a few seconds. Thank you. I don't know how many of y'all have heard about this. This is pretty scary. Sure that that video audio is off on the phone. Say the copyright disclaimer under section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is the use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. As I always like to do, I always love to start off with a Bible verse. We are reminded that God does not intend for us children to be abused. It is up to adults to take care of us, not to abuse us. Matthew 18, verse 6. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depths of the sea. Okay, I'll go ahead and stop that scrolling now. Come on, please say hi and hello. I'll acknowledge you. But so many people, well, like so many people, I did not understand that this was a real problem. I have a friend that told me about how much of a problem it is. All right, let's get to this is Equality Now. We give them credit. They are an organization. You can donate to them. They have resources, what they do, a region, who we are, get involved, and voices. Child marriage in the United States. Learn more about the loopholes which allow marriage under the age of 18 in most United States, U.S. states, okay? There are too many exceptions to child marriage laws in the United States. Child marriage is harmful. It is a human rights violation that legitimizes abuse and denies girls autonomy. When young girls are forced to marry, they are essentially subject to state sanctioned rape and are at risk of increased domestic violence, forced pregnancy, and negative health consequences. While being denied education and economic opportunity, Equality Now and our partners advocate that the minimum age for marriage be set at 18 and no exceptions. You'll understand what I mean by that minimum age of marriage be set at 18 and no exceptions, okay? When we go over this, this is what really needs to be done. I really strongly believe this. What is child marriage and is it really happening in the United States? Child marriage occurs when one or both of the parties to the marriage are below the age of 18. Child marriage is currently legal in 43 states. Well, it's less than that at the moment. I had fun. They have got, as of March 2023, 7 states banned underage marriage with no exceptions, which is New Jersey, they did in 2018, Delaware, 2018, Pennsylvania, 2020, Minnesota, 2020, Rhode Island, 2021, New York, 2021, Massachusetts, 2020, looks like 23, and Vermont. The Vermont is added new to this. Thank you, Vermont. Thank you, Massachusetts, New York, Rhode Island, Minnesota, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey. Thank you so much. And then there's some of the U.S. territories, such as the American Samoas and U.S. Virgin Islands, that are also standing along with this as well. Child marriages occurs. Okay, I read that part. The child marriage is currently legal in 43 states, but like I said, there's more that was added here. All right. And 20 U.S. states do not require any minimum age for marriage with a parental or judicial waiver. Nearly 300,000 children were married in the U.S. between 2000 and 2018. What is the statutory rape exception? Statutory rape is when one of the parties to sexual activity is below the age of consent. It does not have to be forcible because a minor is not legally able to consent. In most states, child marriage is considered as a valid defense to statutory rape. The marital defense to statutory rape also used to be permitted under federal law in 18 U.S.C. Section 2243. While 18 U.S.C. 2243 was amended by the Violence Against Women Reauthorization Act of 2022 to eliminate this statutory rape defense, a similar defense still exists in the United States Military Code under 10 U.S.C. Section 920B. Both 10 U.S.C. Section 920B and similar exceptions under state law in the majority of the states suggest that the government condones the practice of child marriage. It allows an adult to engage in sexual activity with children and gives sexual predators an incentive to force a child to marry them. The law can effectively turn child marriage into a get out of jail free card for predators. These laws must be repealed to align U.S. laws with international standards and discouraging child marriage and rape in the United States. What can you do about it? Call our local elected officials to take action to end child marriage. Visit Unchained at Last for more details. You can also join the National Coalition to End Child Marriage in the United States and urge your friends and families to take steps as well. Okay. So, child marriage in America by the numbers. That's 2017. All right. I think at first almost no one believed this is somebody's personal case. Okay. At first, almost no one believed Freddie Rice when she said child marriage happens in the United States. That's not a problem here, people would say. But the laws in every state allows minors to get married under certain circumstances. As a founder of Unchained at Last, an advocacy group that's working to outlaw marriage before the age of 18, Rice would hear from teenage girls who were looking to get out of marriage. Rice wanted to know how often minors were getting married, so she went looking for the actual count. Her group is based in New Jersey, and that's where her search began. When I got that spreadsheet from the state health department, I was literally shaking, Rice said. The spreadsheet showed nearly 3,500 minors married in New Jersey between 1995 and 2012. Most minors were 16 and 17 years old. That number was so much higher than I thought it would be, she said. Then the fact that the children were as young as 13, see the problem there, y'all? That the children were as young as 13, and the fact that it was mostly girls married to adult men. After Jersey, she requested marriage license data for New York and then more states until she had numbers from more than 30 states. Russ shared the initial data set with Frontline. We requested data from additional states in an effort to get a fuller picture on how many minors were getting married in the United States, how old they were, and where these marriages are taking place. Here's what we learned. Put in mind, this is a few years before the last one that we're going to take a look at. We'll look at this one first and make sure to X that one out. Between 2000 and 2015, at least 207,459 minors were married in the United States. This count is incomplete when health departments in most states keep track of how old people are when they get married. Some states, including New Mexico, Nevada, and Arizona, only keep records at the county level. We requested information from the biggest counties in some of those states, but gaps remain. We did not receive data from California, Georgia, Maine, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, or the District of Columbia. States made different years' worth of data available, while most provided records for 2000 through 2010. Some were able to give us more recent numbers. It is impossible to know exactly who got married or why, as public records only show the age and gender of each person. Fewer minors are getting married according to that, but since the COVID, believe maybe they go through a loophole and do it another way or falsify the documents on saying the age. The number of people married before the age of 18 fell by about 61% between 2000 and 2010 in states where we have records. Fewer Americans overall are getting married according to the U.S. Census, and those who do are more likely to wait until their 20s or early 30s. Still, advocates argue that gaps in state laws are failing to protect minors from being forced or coerced into marriages where they may face violence and sexual assault. Like, I've got a friend who, a guy at the church that they attended, had got the young girl pregnant, young teen, and the family made her marry the guy even though she was way underage to get married. She was forced to marry this old man. Most of the minors who married were girls, 87%, boys 13%. Almost 90% of minors who married between 2000 and 2015 were girls. Most of them were 16 or 17 years old. How old were minors who married? 15 years for 1%, 15 years 4%, and that's four right there. 16 years, 29%, 17 years, 67%. Children as young as 12. You see that, y'all? Children as young as 12 were granted marriage licenses in Alaska, Louisiana, and South Carolina. Do y'all not see a problem here? 13-year-olds were given a green light to marry in Alabama, Florida, Idaho, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, and Washington. Anybody else see a problem with that? I would appreciate voices. Youngest children to marry. Children were, there was 6 children were aged 12, 51 children were aged 13, 985 children were aged 14. Most states set the age of sexual consent between 16 and 18. A person can be charged with sexual abuse or statutory rape for having sex with a minor, yet we found numerous examples of children who were given marriage license before they could legally consent to sex. These marriages were almost always approved by court clerks and judges. Our judges and our court clerks are approving these marriages, you all. Whew. Minors who married other minors versus adults. 14% married minors, while 86% married adults. While some minors married other minors, these cases were less common. Most married adults were 18 or 19 or in their early 20s. Like, how old were the adults who married minors? There's 18 to 20 years, 60%, 21 to 23 years, to 25%, 24 to 26-year-old, 9%, 27 to 29, 3%, 29-year-old, 3%. So how would you like your 14 or 15-year-old to be marrying a 29-year-old or 30-year-old? In rare cases, minors were permitted to marry adults who were decades older. The oldest adults who married minors, 368 adults were in their 40s. 61 adults were in their 50s. 31 adults were 60 and over. In 2010, a 17-year-old girl married a 65-year-old man in Idaho. One of the oldest people to marry a child was a 74-year-old in Alabama. His bride was 14. The state later raised its minimum marriage age to 16, but that don't matter because they got other ways to do it, like go to the judge. The mother or parents can no longer say, but the judge can go ahead and say, of course, yeah, we'll go ahead and let you marry. All right. A large age difference is an automatic red flag, but a small age difference is not an automatic red green flag, said Gene Smoot, an attorney for Tahert Justice Center, an organization that offers legal services for women and girls fleeing violence and which has advocated to ban marriage for all minors. As we said, these minors, if they try to run away and are victimized or abused, they're too young. They would not be allowed to go into women's abuse shelters. They are not allowed to get divorced or anything, you all. Advocates say it's rare for law enforcement to charge an adult with statutory rape if he or she is married to a minor. In some states, the same acts that would be statutory rape outside of marriage are made lawful within. People can get married on their own once they reach the age of adulthood, which is 18 in almost every state. But almost every state allows minors to get married at younger ages in some situations. Minors always need a parent's consent and sometimes a judge's approval. In Oregon, Nebraska, and New York, minors have to be at least 17 years old to get married. Other states draw a line at 14, 15, or 16. New Hampshire, a law that has been on the books since 1907, allows girls as young as 13 and boys as young as 14 to marry. In Massachusetts, girls can legally marry at 12, while boys can at 14. Both states require judges' approval and at least one parent's consent. In 23 states, there's no minimum marriage age, according to Tahrir Justice Center. Children in those states can get married at any age if certain conditions are met. 12 states require all minors to petition a judge for a marriage license, according to a forthcoming Tahrir report. In most states, only children under 16 have to make their case before a judge. Laws in 9 states allow minors to marry before the age of 16 with a judge's approval if the bride is pregnant. When a pregnancy is involved, parental consent is not always necessary. So then they calculated a lot of this. So now I'm going to go to this other site, which shows child marriage legislation progress map. We'll start over here with the red ones, which have passed the bill status. This is Minnesota. Did you see that youngest marriage age allowed by law is 18? 1,118 of children wed 2008 to 2018. Thanks to Unchained advocacy in 2020, Minnesota passed this SF 1393 HF 745, sponsored by Senator Sandy Pappas and Representative Kay Holy Hurt, and ended all marriage before the age of 18. Previous bill to end child marriage died at the end of the legislative session in 2018. Take action. Host a postcard party to encourage legislators in other states to follow Minnesota's lead. Get involved at the federal level too. See other ways to help end forced and child marriage in the United States. Another one I am proud of, that's Minnesota. Pennsylvania did it. New York, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Jersey, and Delaware. This California, they have a weak bill that is pending. You see right here at the moment, it's the youngest marriage age allowed by law. There's not. There's not an age. So number of children married from 2000 to 2018 is 23,588. In 2023, lawmakers introduced SB 404 as a bill to end all marriage before 18, but the bill was amended to remove all family code statutes. It now will make it a misdemeanor to arrange a non legally recognized child marriage and no longer within legal child marriage in California. No longer will end legal marriage. It is awaiting action in the Senate appropriations. Lawmakers passed SB 273, which added meaningless so-called safeguards did not change the marriage age or end child marriage. So that one is not good at all, y'all. Now, Alabama, they never passed a bill. The youngest marriage age allowed by law is 18, and it says down here, age of the youngest child married. Do you see this right here? Age 12. Right here. Said 9% of children married who are girls wed to adult men. Age youngest child married 12. Boy. Number of marriages and age special age difference that should have constituted a sex crime 579 plus. There's a national movement, and we're hoping that Alabama will follow suit and do like Rhode Island and some of these other states where I hope this whole United States area will become that way as well. Of Tennessee, I am not proud of you either. I'm from Tennessee. I live in Tennessee. Child marriage in Tennessee. Youngest marriage age allowed by law, 17. That's by law. That does not mean that they can not go other ways. Number of children married. There we go. It said no legislation to end child marriage is currently pending in Tennessee. A bonkers bill to undermine same sex marriage that mistakenly did not include any age limits upon its introduction was sent to summer study in 2022, effectively killing the bill. In 2018, lawmakers passed HB 2134, SB 1167, which set the marriage age at 17 but did not protect 17-year-olds. Previous bills to end child marriage died in legislature. The age of the youngest child married? 13. 13. That's because they could go before a judge and get wed. There's some major problems, y'all. And there's number of marriages 2004 to 2014 at age special age difference that should have constituted a sex crime 1,951 plus. Something is wrong with this picture, people. Something majorly wrong. So now, since I also used to live in Florida, I'm going to see what it is about Florida. Child marriage in Florida, it's the youngest marriage age allowed by law, it says 17. Number of children married 2008 to 2018, 17,274. No legislation to end child marriage is currently pending in Florida. Okay. So, do you see right here where the age of youngest child married from 2008 to 2000 to 2013? Age 13. Okay, but up here we got a law up here. See what I'm saying, y'all? Youngest marriage age allowed by law, 17. But they still allow 13-year-olds to get married. All right? Even though there's laws that mandate that you're supposed to be this certain legal age, A judge can still go in there and say, it's okay by us. Can, you know? Percentage of children married 2018 who were girls wed to adult men, 95%. Number of marriages 2000 to 2019 at age spousal age difference that should have constituted a sex crime, 2,798. Trying to get the message out there, because our justice system is not really protecting our kids. They're re-victimize them where they will be forced. Another state that's close to Tennessee, I'm checking it out, Mississippi. The youngest marriage age allowed by law, 0. Were children married 2008 to 18. No legislation to end child marriage currently pending in Mississippi. I'm going to go on down. 95% of children married 2000 to 2018 who were girls wed to adult men. Age of the youngest child marriage, 13. Hey, how are you doing, Fried Green Tomatoes? Good seeing you. Then the number of marriages at spousal age difference that should have constituted a sex crime, 307 plus. Our government, our judicial system are going ahead and approving these marriages of kids that are 18-year-old, 13-year-old, and sometimes younger than that, to marry these adult men. What is wrong with our system, y'all? They're not even the legal age of consenting to sex. This is a major problem, y'all. All right? This is a major problem. Somebody had told me about this, and I said, I am going to get this out there. I'm trying to figure out where some of the states are. I'm not sure where some of them are. Okay, I'm going to check out Idaho. All right. It's the youngest marriage age allowed by law, age 16. Number of children married 2018. No legislation to end child marriage is currently pending in Idaho. 2020, lawmakers passed HB 466, which set the marriage age of 16, but did not protect. Okay? Help us to start an Idaho coalition to end child marriage. Post a postcard party. And looky here. It says the percentage of children married who were girls wed to adult men, 78%. Age of the youngest child married, 2000 to 2018, 13. Still, see the problem? The percentage of marriages at spousal age difference that should have constituted a sex crime, 3,954 plus. But the judicial system is allowing pedophiles to marry to get out of going to jail for being a predator. The judge and the judicial system are allowing these things to happen when they impregnate one of these children, or if a person sells their children and says, well, we cannot afford it. So somebody adult will go ahead and say, well, I'll marry the child, and the judge would allow it. That basically you're selling your child, prostituting your child out. Parents should go to jail. Judges should go to jail for all this. There's been kids who have actually died because they cannot handle being the sexual abuse. They cannot handle childbirth at such a young age. The hemorrhage, they die. Do you got a certain state you would like me to look at, Fried Green Tomatoes? I like the fact that Texas has got a strong bill pending The youngest marriage age allowed. Let's see what 16. Well, they had 41,774. The HB 924, the bill to end all marriage before 18, introduced by Representative John Rosenthal, is awaiting action in the House Juvenile Justice and Family Issues Committee. This is what we need, y'all. Every state needs this law. Okay? And it's a percentage of children married for 2018 who were girls wed to adult men. See that? 96% of the children were children married to an adult man. 96%? Wow. The age of the youngest child married was 2000 to 2017 was 12. Age 12. I'm glad they're changing their law where they're at least doing something about stopping it. Thank you, Texas. Thank you so much. Then there's a number of marriages at age special age difference that should have constituted a sex crime, 5,203 plus. I just felt like I needed to get the word out there. And there's another strong bill pending in Maine. I'm going to see what their youngest ages are. It's still going like that, trying to do that as well. The youngest age there is 16. Okay. I'm going to check. New York's got to be pretty bad, I bet, about the youngest age married or. But now they got that bill passed so nobody can marry. But before this bill took effect, or law took effect, the age of the youngest child married between 2000 and 2010 was 14. Number of marriages 2000 to 2013 had age spousal age difference that should have constituted a sex crime. Very much so. Very much so. The judicial system is allowing our kids, and I'll show you California right quick. Youngest marriage age allowed by law. They don't even have a young marriage law age. See right there? Zero. Zero. You don't even have to be 10 years old. You ain't even gonna be 8 years old. You ain't even gonna be 6 years old. 23,588. It ended the bill. It was weak, but it basically failed. Unchained at Last leads a national movement. Okay, and remove marriage before 18, but the bill was amended to remove all family code statutes and now will make it a misdemeanor to arrange a non-legally recognized child marriage. Non-legally recognized child? What? So you're going to make it legally recognized child marriage? But it would no longer end legal child marriage in California. So it's going to still legalize child marriages in California. Wow. You want to see what Indiana? I got to figure out where Indiana is right now. I think it's over this way. Yeah, here it is right here. Okay, the youngest marriage age allowed by law, 16. Number of children married 2008 to 2018, 5,086. No legislation to end child marriage is currently pending in Indiana. In 2020, lawmakers passed HB 106, which set the marriage age at 16, but does not protect 16 and 17-year-olds. Two other attempts to limit child marriage died in legislature in 2020. The percentage of children married in 2018 who were girls wed to adult men was 82% plus. The age of youngest child married for 2018, 15. Number of marriages of age spousal age difference that should have constituted a sex crime, 51 plus. Still not good at all. Like they said, what we need to do. Let me get it down here. What the host a postcard party to encourage legislators in other states to follow Minnesota's lead. Get involved in federal level too. See other ways to help enforce child marriage in the U.S. It's at unchainedatLast.org where you can look it up. And I think everybody needs to go like this and get with their representatives and their legislatures and all on doing all that. That's bogus. This is horrific. I just wanted to bring this to everyone's attention because this is horrible because they are legalizing re-victimizing or victimizing our kids to saying it's okay. They cannot, if they get abused by the spouse, like I said, they cannot go to adult women's shelters. They legally can't get a divorce. Isn't that horrible? As a child, they have no rights. They are stricken from all rights. It's horrible. You have no say so. Appreciate you for being here, Fried Green Tomatoes. If you will, let other people know about this because this is going on and this absolutely needs to stop. We talk about pedophilia, we talk about child pornography, child prostitution, all this other kind of stuff. But this is one way that the government or and the legislator, this type of people, are keeping control over our kids and being able to legally let this happen to our children. This is not good at all. It's up to a judge to go ahead and say, yeah, your child, he wants to marry your child 8 years old. Okay, so let it happen. Yes, there has even been 8 year olds that's got married. I've read some of the documentations a couple years ago. I read it's been so long that I can't remember exactly where I read it, but my friend had brought it to my attention a couple years back, and I said, "Well, I need to bring this back into the light and see how it's doing and see how many states have passed it." There's still it's not enough states. There's just 8 states out of all the whole entire United States that have passed it. Something needs done. We need to protect our kids. And I want to thank you for coming. And God bless you, Frag Tomatoes. And I'll talk to you soon, all right? Thank you. Have a good night.